Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips and I am your host. Today's topic, folks, is Kundalini. And
it's not. It's Sex and Kundalini.
That's right. Sex and Kundalini was the topic that
woke everybody up.
Corey suggested that we do this week. And so...
She's blushing.
And is it my Kundalini or my sexual energy that's making me blush? And how can you tell the difference? Because they can have similar manifestations, actually. And flushing, going red in the face, is one of them. But there's a lot of confusion about the difference between sexual energy and Kundalini energy. And they actually are different. They are not the same thing. And let me explain a little bit. So sexual energy is more of a body energy, whereas Kundalini energy is a spiritual energy. And the purpose of sexual energy really primarily is a survival level energy that is involved in reproduction. It's that sexual part of the drive that leads you to, create other bodies. Whereas Kundalini energy is a spiritualizing force that helps to spiritualize the body. So they're two quite different things, but one can stimulate the other, which explains why there can be a little bit of confusion about these two energies. I thought that we would do one of my top 10 signs that you might be running your Kundalini energy. All right, folks. So Kundalini energy, like I have explained, it's actually an energy that everybody has. The word Kundalini translates as coiled or coiled snake. And it's an energy that can be latent at the base of the spine. And when it awakens, it's like that snake is uncoiling and the energy flows up that central column of the spine. And of course, when that happens, it can lead to all sorts of experiences, depending on you and where you're at in your life and what's going on in your life. And so here's some top 10 signs that your Kundalini energy might be being switched on. And like I said, the purpose of it is, it basically helps to raise the vibration of your body. So it helps you, the spiritual being, to connect more closely with your body, amongst other things. But some of the things that can happen when your Kundalini turns on the one hand, it can stimulate altered states of consciousness, feelings of euphoria, feelings of ecstasy. On the other hand, depending on what you've stored in your physical body, and most of us have stored all sorts of things in our physical body, what it will do is it will help you move out of the way whatever is in between you and having a heightened state of consciousness and conscious awareness. And that's why it's quite common for people to get a headache, for example, or to feel lightheaded, because that can be if there's an energy block in the head or the energy channels in the head, then the Kundalini energy will dissolve that. But if you get into resistance or it takes a little while for that to move out of the way, you can have a headache. So sometimes a headache can be a sign of a block in the Kundalini energy channel. The same thing with backache. Because the Kundalini energy is traveling up the spine. Sometimes when you've got backache, that can be, that the Kundalini energy has encountered a block in the spine and is working its way through dissolving it. And rashes. It's really quite common to get unexplained rashes. It can be a sign that that's your Kundalini energy turning on. So that's 3 signs that your Kundalini energy might be switching on. Another one is hot flashes. It's quite common for women at the time of menopause to have hot flashes. And at that time, the female body is switching from a focus on being able to create babies and have children to not being able to do that anymore, a different focus, and the body becoming more spiritualized. And so those hot flashes, from a spiritual perspective, is the Kundalini energy. So how are you liking it so far, Corey?
It's wonderful.
You look like you're falling asleep there.
Yes.
Another thing the Kundalini energy can help you do is leave the body. And so so that's 4 signs that your Kundalini energy might be awakening. Some of the other things that can happen, like I'm talking about physical things there, because it will show you what you've stored in your body. So stuff will come up in order to be resolved, dissolved, transformed, and spiritualized. Another symptom of a Kundalini awakening, if we want to call it a symptom, can be that you start to feel alone, isolated, different. Because actually, in a way, you are. If most people around you are not running their Kundalini energy, and that Kundalini energy is raising your frequency, you can feel like you're different to others. And also, the other thing that it will do is it starts to activate your spiritual awareness and your clairvoyance. And you can start to see through the facades that many people have. And so, sometimes people can start to feel paranoid, like everyone's against them, because they're more tuning into the subtle signals that people are not verbally expressing, but are there under the surface. And then another one is, delusions of grandeur, because you start to be aware of how much you know. As you're becoming more awakened through the Kundalini energy, basically burning through the levels of your reality, such as your ego and so on. So it helps you let go of your own facades, and it will also help you dissolve not only physical pain, but emotional pain that you've stored in your physical body. And what are some of the ways that you can consciously turn on your Kundalini energy? Meditation is a great way to do it. But of course, there are other ways as well. Music, dance, so Kundalini yoga, sex, drugs, religious fervor, exercise, childbirth. They're all things that can stimulate the Kundalini energy to awaken and switch on. There we have it. And I actually brought a book in with me, and I think I might just read a passage from this book. And the book's called Kundalini Energy, The Flame of Life by Mary Ellen Flora. And if you want to know more about Kundalini energy, this is a really great book to teach you about it. Because the topic was sex and Kundalini, I thought I'd just read a little passage out of the chapter that she has in there, which is called Sexuality and Kundalini Energy. So she says, sexuality is often confused with Kundalini energy, as it has some similar characteristics and effects on the body, and because one often stimulates the other. Our spiritual development is confusing when we equate Kundalini energy with our sexuality. Both sex and Kundalini energy can make your face turn red, cause you to feel lightheaded, make your body feel hot and tingly, and cause you to leave your body. Both sex and Kundalini energy can stimulate an orgasmic release of energy and are great creative powers. The difference is that sex relates to procreation of the species and its subsequent survival, and Kundalini energy relates to the transformation of physical energy to a higher spiritual vibration. Sexual and Kundalini energies flow through different channels in the spiritual system and relate to the physical body differently. Sexuality can stimulate Kundalini energy and vice versa, but they are different vibrations with different purposes flowing through different channels. And she sort of goes on to talk about how most societies are focused on sexuality, and that's why we tend to confuse these two energies, and that most people are not educated about Kundalini energy, and so often children are taught to be ashamed of it and not to run it, because, you know, if mummy sees that little Johnny or little Joanne have a flushed face, she might assume that they've been diddling themselves and tell them off, but it can actually be that their Kundalini energy, that they were running their Kundalini energy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. We have a caller on the line. Hello caller. Hello caller.
Hello.
Oh, fabulous. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about that. But we've got you on the air now. Who am I talking to?
My name's Jenna.
Jenna. Hi Jenna. And
Hi.
how can I help you today? What would you like to ask?
Oh, my heart's beating really fast.
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, I guess what my purpose is.
What your purpose is. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I will take a look and see what comes up. And if you
Awesome.
keep your eyes open. I'm going to just go into trance and take a look.
Okay.
And I'm just going a bit quiet while I do that, but I'm going to tune into your energy and okay, so I'm seeing a vibration of energy which at the moment seems like it's outside of your body, but wants to be grounded and flow through you. So, and it looks like it relates to your purpose. And God, the vibration, it sort of seems to be switching between two different colors, and one color is blue and the other color is kind of like a purpley blue, and so from the blue it feels like it's something to do with communication and possibly healing, and from the purple then what I also feel like is that it may even be spiritual communication. And communication, and it also looks like there's some guides or angels that are involved in this. So let's just ask you for some feedback. How does that answer feel for you?
Oh, I feel so good right now.
You feel so great now.
Yeah.
So tell us how that resonated.
Definitely, I've been told before about being a healer. I've really struggled, though, with my throat chakra, just communicating. So I'm just going to be interesting one for me if I can somehow connect with it.
Okay, well let's just take a look at your throat chakra for you and give you some information, or maybe even give you a healing on air, because it does.
Oh, man.
Yeah, let's give you a healing on air.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I am seeing that the what you're talking about in terms of feeling like there's some kind of a block there, and and it looks like you've had some invalidation in your life about your voice and your opinions and what you have to say, and that's caused you to internalize that invalidation and turn yourself down, basically, in terms of expressing yourself. And so we're just giving you a hand, starting to help you to clear some of that. But it is quite strong. Can you tell us where that came from? Was it from a parent in your childhood?
Yeah, I was definitely, I have an amazing family, but I was definitely the only girl in the family, and I kind of, I don't want to put my family down in any way, but I was definitely, it was like my world didn't matter for a very long time. And actually, I kind of still feel that way with my brothers, but...
Right.
I know they care and I know they love me, but it was hard.
Right. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting some neutral cleansing energy through your fifth chakra. And as I'm doing it, when I first started looking at it, there was like a very dark, restrictive energy just over the whole thing. And as I'm working on it, there's sort of like a central flow of red energy. And it looks like you're really working on wanting to re-own that fifth chakra, to re-own it and say, doesn't matter what any of these other people say or said in the past. This is my voice, my information, my beliefs, and I have a right to express myself as much as anyone else does. So, okay. So it does look like there's a fair bit there, though, Jenna. And of course, the fifth chakra is to do with the inner voice. So, and that's being able to hear your inner voice, to listen to your higher self. And it also is clairaudience, telepathy, and pragmatic intuition. And so it's really important for many reasons, but for you, expressing yourself, the spiritual conscious awareness. And also it looks like you're wanting to be able to use this in communicating with your guides, and especially healing guides. And I was also seeing archangels as well. And so, but it's just a case of, it just looks like there's just such solid invalidation of all of that you grew up with, that you've got that to work your way through.
Right.
In order to get to the place that you're wanting to operate from.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you listened to the show before?
No, I just I've emailed you and I get your cards, but I just found out about this radio station. So
okay, so there are. You can listen to the past podcasts. Some of them are on my website on the podcast page, and the more up to date ones are on the CIVL website. On their podcast page. Quite often on the show, we talk about different spiritual techniques that you can use in self-healing. And there's a technique called grounding that we talk about quite a lot. And there's lots of past shows that teach you how to do that. And in fact, also on my website, there are some courses. And one of them is called Practical Meditation for Intuitives, that you can try a few meditations before you buy it, and one of the free ones is grounding. So there's a few different places where you can learn a technique called grounding, and it really gives you the power to change your reality, because you can use this technique to release any energy that is taking up space in your reality that is limiting you in any way. So, for example, you could learn that technique and then use it to release the foreign energy from your fifth chakra. Use it to let go of your brothers and your parents and any other sources of invalidation that you have received, so that you can access the information that is correct for you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay.
Oh, good. Great.
I haven't grounded in a long time, so I think that... Yeah.
Grounding is the number one thing to do in order to anchor your consciousness in your physical body and in the here and now, and be present in the physical world. And in order to actualize whatever it is that you're wanting to create here, you kind of need to be grounded to do it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like my role might be big coming up, so without the ego, of course, but
Yeah.
it's good to know.
Great. Okay. So anything else we can help you with?
No, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
You're really welcome. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right then.
Thank you.
Bye. Great. Well, that was Jenna, and so happy that we could help her. And do we have another question, Corey?
As always, we got lots of them.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Lots of them. So this is a question from Mandy. Mandy would like to know, who was I before this life, and what strong impression in my soul did I carry over into this life?
Okay. All right. So past life question there from Mandy. So let's check it out for Mandy. Let's give her a quick past life reading. And of course, I'll just explain that, we often think, well, of it, that we often think in terms of the timeline when we think about past lives. And then we sort of think, well, the one that was immediate in time prior to this one is the one that's going to have the biggest resonance. And not necessarily, because any of your past lives can be the one that is resonating most closely to the current lifetime at any point in time that you ask about it. So what I'm going to do, Mandy, is I'm just going to look for the one that lights up as being most relevant as opposed to most recent. And it is a fairly recent one. It might not be the immediate one prior to this, though. So let's take a look. Okay, so I feel that it's a lifetime in... Actually, I feel like it's a lifetime in World War II. It actually looks as though I'm seeing the swastika. So I'm feeling like you were perhaps a Nazi soldier. And... and I'm seeing that one of the things that you have brought into this lifetime that is a match for that lifetime is really strong self-judgment, self-criticism, and and also I would say the reason for it is what you're aiming for is forgiveness and acceptance. And if you take that whole period of World War II, one of the big picture things that was going on was intolerance and lack of acceptance and judgment on a mass scale. So you had one group of people that was, judging another group of people, or at least following under the auspices of a particular person, i.e. Hitler, his judgment that certain groups of people were less deserving and less acceptable than other groups of people. So mass intolerance, mass judgment, mass persecution and criticism. And I'm seeing that you were one of the people that was swept up in that and part of the Nazi forces. And I'm seeing that you... It's almost like a mass hypnosis in a way. In that some of the people that were involved in that were carrying out those atrocities because it was just the world they lived in, and they were, if you're a soldier in the ranks, oftentimes you don't question, you just take orders and you just do what you're told. And so I'm seeing that there was a level of your consciousness that was just doing what you were told. And then there was another level of your consciousness that really and there was a level of your consciousness that wanted to experience the polarity of judgment and criticism. And then there was a part of your consciousness observing that in order to cultivate the opposite polarity of forgiveness and acceptance. And that's what you're dealing with in the current lifetime that you're asking about. That's what you're dealing with that you've carried over. And such a strong, I can't quite think of the word, but it might not even make complete 100% complete sense to you in the current lifetime, which is why you're asking about it. But oftentimes a soul will learn about something over multiple lifetimes and see an issue from one perspective in one lifetime and then move into a different perspective in another lifetime. And I'm really seeing that you're wanting to transcend, and what you did, that judgment and criticism which was externalized by that Nazi movement onto whole groups of other people, in the current lifetime you're experiencing it more as an internal judgment and criticism that you can't quite understand, why am I doing this? And it's because within you you're wanting to transcend that and transform it and into its opposite polarity of forgiveness and acceptance. And first of all, you're doing it within yourself. Forgiving yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself unconditionally. And as you transform that within you, you help to transform those vibrations on the planet. And as you see yourself in a kinder way, you're able to see others in a kinder way. So that's what I'm picking up for you, Mandy, that this is part of your journey this lifetime is on that polarity of judgment and criticism to forgiveness and acceptance within the self. And that past life was one where you experienced that on a major level at the time of World War II. So I hope that's helped clarify. Feel free to call into the show if you want more information. It's 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And I'm sure we have another question.
We sure do. And this is from Sat. And Sat wants to know, I feel like I'm at a crossroad in my life and I'm having a really hard time deciding which way I should go. I feel paralyzed. Will I make the right decision for myself and my son? And will it be soon?
Okay. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with you, Sat, and why you feel paralyzed at this decision point in your life. And I guess there's no information about what specific decision it is, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look at you and see what comes up. So, it's an interesting one. It's got something to do with body-spirit communication, and it's also got something to do with this whole thing that we're all learning about while we're in bodies, which is how to marry the fact that we are divine eternal consciousness living in a finite physical body in space and time. And so when I look at you, I sort of see that dichotomy of body and spirit. I see it's your body that's feeling paralyzed, and your body that's feeling stuck, and your body that's feeling indecisive. And you, the spiritual consciousness, it's almost like you're already moving into that future time place that you're wanting to move your body into, but you've forgotten to tell the body about it. And so the body is kind of paralyzed with fear because you're in the future. It can't be in the future yet, and it's freaking out. And so I'm actually seeing that the solution to your issue is actually being in present time, being in the now. If you know that book, The Power of Now, or if not, I suggest you read it, The Power of Now. being in present time, or just looking into some mindfulness practices, or what I said to Jenna earlier, grounding. It looks like learning how to be really consciously present right here, right now with your body, instead of running off into the future without consulting it and communicating with it, because the body will go into fear when we do that. So I'll give you a hand right now, just making a little bit of an adjustment, and I'll just see if the other thing that is coming up is it's like wanting to make the perfect decision, and being paralyzed by that, because it's like, I've got to make the perfect decision. Well, you don't have to make the perfect decision. You just have to make a decision. All you need to do is just keep moving. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. There is no perfect answer to anything for any of us. It's just about choices. And we have choices all the time, and we have free will. And the name of the game is just make a choice. There isn't a perfect one. It's just choose. And whichever one you choose is the one that you're living. Plug and play, whichever choice you make. And so I'm seeing that's the other thing that's keeping you frozen, is thinking that there's a perfect answer and a perfect decision that you can make. And there isn't. And also, what adds to that is the responsibility that you feel for your son. So you're wanting to make the perfect decision for him as well. And you're wanting to get it 100% right for him. And guess what? You know what? There's no parent in the world that gets it 100% right for their child. There just isn't. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't really matter. There will be mistakes that you make. There will be some things that your son looks back on and says, "I love my mum for this, but I don't love her for that." It's just the way it goes. It's part of the life that we're all in together. And so my second thing that I would say to you is just let go of this idea that there's a perfect answer, because there isn't. All right, we're going to go to a break, and then we will be back with some more questions. Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley.
This question is from Terry, and Terry'd like to know, could I please have, you wanted a free card reading. I just had my birthday, and I'm wondering what is in the horizon for me in the way of romance. It's been about 5 years since I've been alone, so I was thinking of turning my energy vibration to romance. What do you think? Thank you for your time.
Okay, Terry, well, let's take a look at that. And I like the way you asked the question, shall I turn my vibration to romance? Because, as you know, you will attract what you are. So if you're wanting something, be that something that you're wanting. Anyway, let's just take a look at you and where the energy is sitting with respect to summoning up some romance in your life. Okay, so just taking a look at that. Well, I'm seeing that the only thing that's holding you back from creating it is just examine your life for what you're believing about this. I don't know how old you are, Terry, but I'm seeing some of the beliefs in your space that relate to age and romance. And so, you know, there are beliefs out there that say that, you know, beyond a certain age, it gets much harder to attract a romantic partner. And I'm seeing that that's true if you believe it. And so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I would just sit and just meditate on what are you believing about this. Because if there are any beliefs like that, other beliefs similar to that, then they're impacting your ability to create this for yourself. So that's the first thing. And I'm also seeing that even though it's been 5 years, since the ending of the previous relationship, it does look like there's some fear and pain, some trepidation around, and I don't know what happened to that relationship for it to come to an end, but it looks as though you went through some pain and heartache and loss and grief around that, and that it was very painful for you to go through, and you are not wanting to create that for yourself again, and that makes you cautious, and that energy of holding on to that pain is also in your vibrational field, and so that would be the second thing, is just look at what am I holding on to from the past, and let that go. But apart from those two things, I would say, well, there's another thing too, which is, because what I was going to say to you is, like, if you really desire it, I mean, that's part of it, is to really desire something is part of that whole recipe for manifestation. And I'm seeing that there's something getting in your way of even that, which is believing that you can even have it. It looks like you're afraid to desire it in case you can't have it. So in case you would be disappointed by not having it. But that's a catch-22 situation, because you kind of have to let yourself fully desire it, and step into that desire and that wanting and the belief that you can have it in order for it to come about. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Terry. I hope that helps you. But, we can all create anything that we want. We just have to make our vibration a match for that desire. Corey, do we have another one?
Yes, and the next question is from Trina. Trina would like to know, what's the best way / resource to increase my intuition and change my beliefs? I'm trying to change my occupation, but I don't know what to do instead of my previous job. So she's looking for some help and direction on how to. I don't think she's looking for
two questions, really.
No, actually, it's one.
I
look at it as one question. Let me read it the other way around. I'm trying to change my occupation, but don't know what to do instead of my previous job. What's the best way, resource to increase my intuition and change my beliefs?
Right. So the main question is job, and then wanting to intuit where to go with that. Let's read it that way then. Okay, so let's take a look, Trina, at you and your job. Okay. And we don't have any information about what you have been doing, but I'm seeing actually two distinctly different directions. So I'm actually seeing quite a different direction to what you've done before. And I'm seeing that, I mean, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about beliefs, because so often when it comes to things like career decisions and jobs and what we do, in the world to earn money, when we're looking for a job, we've got this thing called a resume, and we list all the things we've ever done before. And then we look at that list of all the things we've ever done before, and we say, well, because of all these things I've ever done before, this is what I can do now. So we let what we've done in the past dictate what we do in present time. And it's the way the world teaches us to look at it. And I'm seeing that is part of what the block is it looks like where you're wanting to go is a completely new direction, but you're unable to see it because your intellect, your field of vision is restricting itself to what you've done before. And so let's see. So it's sort of like put aside that old way of doing things, that way the world says to treat your career. Just put that aside and say, well, I can do anything. I have a clean slate. It doesn't matter. I can do anything. So if I could do anything, what would I want? And then allow yourself to start to dream. Allow yourself to start to tap into what makes you feel joyful and passionate and fulfilled. Because right now, it's almost like your boat. If you imagine your life as a boat, the prow of the boat is pointed, let's say it's pointed northwest, and it's wanting to point northeast. and so it's sort of like by letting go of, think about what you've done in your career before as the map you've been following. Well, get rid of the map and just allow yourself to just allow yourself to free flow and dream. And it's like as you dream, as you feel into it, the prow of your boat starts to turn in the other direction. So let's see if there's anything else I can. I mean, that's really it. It's really it. It's let go of the intellectual framework that says that you can only look within what you've done before, and just start dreaming. Just give yourself permission to free flow with your ideas. So I think that's what I've got for Trina, Corey.
I'd like to add something to Trina.
Thanks.
Yeah. Trina, if I'd like to talk about beliefs for a minute, for just a couple of seconds, because it's something that I've got a lot of experience with in changing belief systems. If let me ask you a question. If one of your friends, a fairly good friend, did something to you that really hurt you to the core, how long would it take you to feel bad about that friend, and how long would that last? A lot of people lose friends like that, and they never speak to them again. What I'm trying to say is it depends on what the stimulus is in order to change that belief. If you can find the right stimulus, then the belief is easy to change. It almost does it automatically. So just find the right reason, and you will change your beliefs without any issue whatsoever.
Thanks, Corey.
You're welcome.
Do we have another question?
Oh, I think we got lots.
We've got more than we can handle, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, here's a question from Mary. Mary'd like to know, I'd like to please know if I'm on the right track, as I want to learn to heal my body through Reiki and other energy and spiritual methods, as I'm convinced this is possible. I am also focused on financial abundance, which will enable me to travel and take the courses to achieve spiritual consciousness.
Okay, I'll take a look at that for you. And let's tune in. Oh, so I really see. Oh, you're just looking for a little bit of validation, Mary, because I'm seeing this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. I'm seeing you're very, very focused on healing your body. Very focused. And that if there's a couple of tips I can give you about it, though, which is, obviously I tell everybody, grounding. It looks like for the changes to really happen, and it's important for you to ground. I'm seeing that you're not really as grounded as you could be. And so grounding from that first chakra to the center of the earth will help you to have those healing energies flow through your body. And the other thing that I'm seeing is, because you've got such a strong intention and focus here, that there's a tendency to overdo it, kind of blast the body a little bit with a little bit too much energy. And just to put this in context, you are eternal, right? Immensely powerful, beyond human comprehension, enormous amount of energy. But your body can't handle all of the energy that is you. It can only handle a small fraction of it. So only a small fraction of your energy is meant to flow through this body. And so it looks like one of the things that you're learning about is how much energy is meant to be flowing through this body. And it looks like some of the problems that you have with your body have to do actually with it not having enough energy, with it having been blasted with so much energy that you've fried it and burnt it out a little bit. And so it's like the body isn't your friend at the moment, because it's like whenever you're around, it's overdone. And so grounding the body so that it can handle your energy, and also just learning how to adjust how much energy you're bringing to it and through it. But I'm seeing your lessons as a healer here. Other than that, I'm seeing that you're actually very powerful, capable of being a very powerful healer, capable of healing your body, capable of understanding what I just said and modulating the energy that you're flowing through your body so that you can make it more comfortable, so that you can heal it, and so that you can start creating through it some of the fabulous things that you're wanting, such as financial abundance and travel to spiritual courses. What's the next one, Corey?
Okay, and this one's from Jan, and Jan would like to know, how do I release past hurt so that I may be able to trust and find love again?
Okay. Trust and find love again. So, gosh, I feel like people are pushing me to teach grounding again on this show. So grounding is obviously a great way to heal yourself from past hurts, but let me just tune into your energy and see specifically some specific information about what's going on with you. Your energy is looking quite interesting there, Jan. I'm going to give you a hand grounding, and I'm also going to recommend that you go take a look, find a past podcast where we talk about grounding, or go and check out that course, Practical Meditation for Intuitives, where I teach grounding, because I'm seeing that would help you start to make a shift. But it's like this is the way I see your energy. There's you in the center of it, and then it's like you're sitting inside a shell of which it almost looks like a metal container, which makes you feel unable to. And on the one hand, it's a protection. On the other hand, it's a set of beliefs about the world and other people. And on the other hand, it's something that stops you seeing reality as it is now. And so... And it's all these past hurts that you're talking about. And, really, it's as simple as you deciding to just let them go. And let me just see what's stopping you from doing that. Because you're believing, it's like this happened to you in the past. So you say, well, therefore I know that can happen. Therefore I know that there's a truth in that exists in the world. And I don't want that. Therefore I need to protect myself against that. And I need to resist that and put boundaries up about that because I'm afraid of that. And all that does is it stagnates your energy and it keeps you stuck in a self-fulfilling prophecy. It stops anything new flowing to you, and it prevents you from having the trust that you want. And so it really is a leap of faith that, and maybe a switch in your beliefs to say, I create my own reality through my beliefs. That means that I can create a reality that is a loving and supportive reality around me, and I can attract people who are loving and supportive. Okay, So it's like switch the belief that there's pain and hurt out there in the world that I need to protect myself against, to I create my reality, and I want a loving, supportive reality, and I can create it, right? So, I mean, that's really it. And if you need tools to help you let go of those old beliefs, grounding is a great place to start. All right, we might have a very chance to do a very, very, very quick one now.
Sandy, and hello, I'd like to ask if you see me meeting my life partner in 2016. I'm 33 and single for years and feel stuck in the same pattern in my life.
Okay, well, let's just take a look at... Okay, I haven't got much time, but one of the things that's coming up is almost like you're afraid to be happy. And it looks like... Or you're afraid to have the freedom that you want, or you don't believe you can have the freedom that you want. I'm seeing the strong parental influence with you, actually, and that there's some beliefs that were set up in your childhood around what you can create for yourself. And it just looks like that's creating some limits around being able to perceive the possibility of a relationship. I've got about 30 seconds, so let's see if there's anything else I can say. Well, really, if you've listened to the whole show, there's been a lot of questions about letting go of the past in order to usher in romance, and I would just listen to all of those other questions, because I'm seeing that some of the things I said to the other people are relevant to you.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.